In today's fast-paced real estate landscape, success demands more than surface-level expertise. It requires insight, adaptability, proven strategies, discipline, and the ability to take risk. The Agent Brew podcast blends candid conversations with wisdom from industry leaders who've walked the path before you. Think of us as your strategic pit stop to fuel your real estate journey. From the crossroads of the world, in the heart of Times Square, welcome to Agent Brew, a podcast that percolates real estate insights. I'm your host, Eric Zollinger of RLTYco. Welcome to our viewers and listeners. This is episode 1 of season 2. We're so glad that you could join us today as we hear and listen to the wins, transformational losses of real estate agents throughout the years. I'm joined today by a very good friend of mine, Jarrod Guy Randolph. Jarrod is a serial entrepreneur. He is also the creator of Buying Favor operating system. And originally, we met as real estate agents.
Almost 20 years ago.
It was that long. It's hard to believe.
I'm excited to be doing it. I feel like I'm on stage with Oprah right now. So it's incredible. Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming on. And, we always like to start with your elevator pitch. So please start with that.
So when you talk about Buying Favor, this is an operating system that I created, which grew my business substantially in the real estate world. And what I've done is I've actually built a system around it. And I am now working with different cohorts, consulting, teaching them how to turn relationships into capital. It's that simple. We use the moniker relationship capital a lot, but the reality is most people don't actually know what that means. So it's about activating your contacts, connecting with your network in a deeper way, and realizing that the contacts on your phone, that app is the most valuable app on your phone, and it's extrapolating that value, but it's an exchange. It's an exchange of kindness. You're working with people to add value to them, and in return, they add value to you, and you build your business off that.
So I have to tell our guests right from the very front, if you're not following Jarrod, you need to be. His content is incredible. It's very easily digestible and then actionable. But not just that, it's fun. And I have to say, in just the last week, I feel like I am back to a younger, motivated self that's just like, oh my gosh, I remember this. And it's very enlightening and also inspiring. So as a friend, it's so awesome to see you soar and doing all these new things. So let's go back to the beginning. Where did you grow up? When did you come into real estate, and why real estate?
Grew up in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. So about an hour and a half south of the city, down 95. I got into real estate at 16 years old. My best friend's mother, Ashley Martinez, her mother worked for a big real estate agent where I grew up. She got me a summer internship and I was hooked. I'd always loved design, architecture. She knew that. I was considering studying architecture at UPenn. And she's like, do an internship with Linda Emerson, who was my first boss. And it was from there. Now I've been in the industry. I'm 42 now. So what is that? 25 years. I've been in the industry and loving it. Absolutely loving it in different facets. Ups and downs.
Listen, I like to say I have no hair because I've been doing this as of Friday, 26 years, over half of my life. But I say I've worn so many different hats that I don't have any hair left. And we both worked for new development. We both worked at Sunshine. Yeah. We have both owned our own firms. So we literally have climbed mountains. We've fallen down mountains, and we've picked ourselves back up, and we've just really thrived. And that's why it's so great to see you doing so many different facets of the industry, but now really supporting entrepreneurs, whether it be in real estate or finance. It's just really great. So how did you make that transition from real estate agent to what you're doing now?
I went from, like you, the on-site side of the business first and foremost. So I worked for Louise. I studied real estate finance and development at in-house.
Which I just have to interrupt here. While working for Louise, Jarrod was one of the very few 30 under 30 agents with Forbes. I mean, it was just incredible. I remember being part of the firm at the time. I'm like, wow, this is incredible.
So I started working on the new development, and then I went into the resale side of the business, which, as you know, they're dramatically different. However, because of the relationships that I had built on the new development side, it translated into me having a very big book of business the minute that I went into resales for myself. And I absolutely loved it and soared from there.
And you were talking timing right now. It was easy to do that, right? Because you were talking about 2009, 2010.
It was 2009 when that happened. Yeah, it was 2009 because it was a little bit after your passion. But yeah, that was fun. But I had one of my mentors say, you have a great network, tap into your network, leverage your network. And that's what we do now with Buying Favor and how I work with other entrepreneurs and help also some big investors invest and connect the dots in their network and raise capital is what I'm doing now. But it's always been leveraging that network, which is the most important thing. And there's a lot of strategy that goes around doing that. And that helped me transition again about 6 years ago out of real estate sales. So I just frankly, friend to friend, and I guess I'm telling all of you because I consider you all friends, I got burnt out.
It's easy.
Couldn't do it anymore. It was too much. And what I loved about the industry, I lost that passion. Now it's funny, this iteration going back in and working with so many people in real estate now, working with great agents to help them build their books of business, that has been a game changer for me. I've found the passion and love again for it.
It's interesting you bring up the word passion and you just lost the love of it because I've been there. I feel the same way. I always like to put quotes together as I'm preparing for each episode. And I have to say, so Ken Griffin actually has a perfect quote that's talking exactly about what you're discussing. If you're not passionate about the field you're engaged in, you won't have the grit or the perseverance to compete with those who are.
That's a really,
isn't that an awesome quote?
That quote. And the reason I like that quote, I'm going to play with that in social media also. The reason I like that quote is because I started to see my business flatline, and my business did not flatline. My business continued.
It was always
always. And then when I hit that point, I was like, what is happening with me that I'm not finding the happiness in this business? And it was at that point in time where I said, it's time for me to check out. Now, I did some other really fun projects after that. I put together a private equity vehicle with some big players, some institutional players in the city, put together a development firm that I co-managed still with my CFO. And I got into a couple other business and advisory, and I really started loving the structure of business again. Now, I guess all roads lead to real estate because I'm back in the real estate game, but like I said, in a very different iteration from advising now for some big agents.
But this is what I find so fascinating about real estate itself, because it's such a huge umbrella, right? So for some of the young agents out there that are watching this, know that if you get tired of being an agent, you don't have to always be an agent. I mean, there's always senior management. There's all this side synergistic opportunities. I mean, I found RLTYco, and I feel like I'm in my third semester of pinnacle of trying to achieve something great. And I'm so excited and passionate about it because, again, if you don't have the passion, you're not going to succeed.
And what you take away from real estate, and this is why it's really important that you learn from the best in the industry. And I was blessed to actually have incredible mentors in the real estate industry, that you can take that skill set of dealing with people into anything. And it's different when you're dealing with someone's home, because it doesn't matter if you have a penthouse on Fifth Avenue or a small apartment in Jackson Heights, Queens. If you go home tonight and you're standing outside in the rain and cold and your apartment's on fire, you're going to feel the exact same way. And that's what's so humanizing about real estate, why it's so important. What we do, the community, we do as agents.
You know, when you're selling real estate, the actual physical property is just a byproduct. We're in the relationship industry, right? And so if people don't understand that, it's very difficult to succeed. You know, whether you're selling Mary Kay products or you're selling real estate, it's the exact same thing. I long like to compare being in a theater background to doing new development, because it's all the same file folders. It's just a different filing cabinet. So you've mentioned mentors a couple times. Who would you say are some of your biggest mentors?
Ann Young was a major mentor for me. I learned so much from her. She was on point and on fire and an amazing woman to work with.
And a tough cookie.
But you know what? Now I look back and there's so many. I was reminiscing with Nicole Trezera because we all worked together. And I was actually with Loretta Bradbury the other day at the Waldorf taking a client through for something outside of real estate actually. And it was, when you think back about how hard those women, Louise and all those powerhouses back then had to work to build the level of success that they built and the care that they took of us, they were tough to work with. But if you could survive working with them, you had the actual career path because they taught you the ins and outs of the business. Back when they actually used to, remember the blue registries that used to have like the listings for all the co-ops and the kind of.
Oh my gosh. But, that's what I also love about New York is that I feel like if you're willing to work hard, first and foremost, work hard and grind, you have so many people that are willing to take a chance on you, but also really partner with you and elevate you when the time comes.
Well, what's really important about that is we build a community. And that community has many different people in it. That community could be our friends, our associates, vendors, organizations, relatives. That's part of your favorite. That when we add value to them, they want to add value to us in return. And sometimes mentorship is you giving value to them because you're allowing them to impart what they have learned in their experience and their success on you so you can also grow. And I find this with a lot of executives that I advise for, like there's a whole big hedge funds that I advise for now. And they say to me all the time, like, these kids don't come and ask for my advice. I don't know if they're afraid, they're not conditioned to. It's like they literally, the door is open. Go and speak to these people and learn from them, especially if you're early in your career. And granted, some of them are not going to want to help because there are some agents out there that are a little but there are so many because we are a community and we work together all the time that they are there to guide you.
So you've had a great career. What are two wins and why are they important to you?
When you asked this question, I really had to think about it because I wanted to first monetize the wins in terms of I've sold this, I've raised this, but it's actually not that. Two of my biggest wins, one being a dinner series that I still run today called the Headliner Series. And we've done dinners together. We've done events together. It is what has actually built my business. It built my business in real estate. It built my business outside of real estate because when you break bread with people, you break through. And it put me in the position to develop some very strong, deep-rooted relationships with people just by being around the dinner table together, consistently adding value to them, that it allowed me to grow my business math. And then we get into the big sales numbers of the 2 billion plus and the 300 million raised, et cetera, et cetera. That's something that has been really important to me. And then another really big win is I actually feel like for the first time at 42, after 25 years in real estate, feel like I found my voice with my buying favor platform because number one, it's a relationship operating system I've wanted to build for myself for years. But instead of doing it selfishly for me, now I'm working with other people with the same system I've used. And now we're turning it into a software. We're writing a book around it right now. I have a big agent working with me. It's growing into something. And for the first time, I feel like I actually am adding real value to my community.
I mean, it's really been awesome to watch you curate this over time. And just over the last year, it's been really, really great to see you just take leaps and bounds and gain so much as far as you have your own podcast now too. And then your own networking group, which I had the opportunity to join today. I just, you never want to be the smartest in the room or the dumbest, but, but it was just like, you feel elevated and you feel motivated and inspired and just breaking it down. Sure, we've heard all these things, but it's always good to be reminded of the basic steps and formulas to succeed and what relationships really mean and what people are looking for.
And it's the simple ask. It's the simple questions. It's the simple actions. And what we have to realize where all of us are in our careers, because I know a lot of seasoned agents that listen to this, we actually don't need to meet a new person at all. We could be done right now. And if we learn to connect the dots looking back to the people that are in our Rolodex, we could exponentially grow our businesses into the future, because we just have to learn how to make the ask, make the connections, add value to those people in a way that's going to make them go, you know what? Eric is a great agent. You should be going and working with him. I've done X, Y, Z with him. But we don't actually have the tools because we're not taught beyond your standard operating system, marketing, sales, financial management systems, actually how to manage relationships.
Right. Should be real estate 101.
Yeah.
So we talked about the wins. Any transformational losses?
Yeah, 2015. 2015 was a rough year. So 2015, I had 3 real estate deals go sideways all at once.
I believe we might have been working on one at One Madison.
Well, this wasn't even sales deals. This is when I first started investing in real estate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my own money and
that makes it a little tougher.
other people's money. And I bought a business, which was an online marketplace for luxury product furniture. I had no business buying that business, by the way, and managed to drive that into the ground. That had to like fire 12 people, which was not a happy day. It did not feel good about 18 months into it. But 2015 was a year that I was like 1.8 million in debt. Yeah.
Wow.
So what I actually did in terms of buying favor, shameless pitch, I leveraged my network. I went out and I started consulting for other businesses that I had relationships with. And within 2.5 years, I was out of that and I was back to my 7-figure years again, just from consulting.
Wow.
And leveraging that like that. But it taught me a lesson that no matter how much we think we're experts, how much we think we're in control of everything that's going in our lives, sometimes just stuff happens and you have to learn to pivot. You're not stuck. You just have to learn to pivot. And that pivot changed everything for me and has now manifested into something much bigger in my life 10 years later.
That's great. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself in 5 years being a headliner in terms of the buying favor, relationship management strategy and operating system, because it's what I actually wake up every morning and feel like is my gift to the world.
That's great. So you talk about waking up in the morning. This is a perfect segue to our gratitude game, but we play it a little differently here. It's rose, rose, thorn, bud, but we like to say the aroma, the actual brew, the grinds, and then the fresh beans. So we'll start with the aroma. This is that fresh aroma, grinding of the beans. You know, there's major commercial about it, a fresh part of waking up. But
so, by the way, I have to tell this story really quick. Folgers, the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. One of my best friends who passed away in September at 78, Florence Waters, she sang that. She was the voice behind Folgers.
Oh, really?
My biggest.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm in New York because of Florence Waters. So I just wanted to
oh my gosh, that's so cool. Okay, so what gets you out of bed in the morning?
What gets me out of bed in the morning is the fact that I, for the first time, really genuinely feel like I'm adding value to the world. And I'm adding value to the world because the connectivity I'm creating, not just within my business, but I'm helping other entrepreneurs to do through the buying favor operating system. And I'm having so much fun doing it. Like the anxiety or the head noise that we just have in life at certain times is gone. It's just pure clarity.
Purpose. So then the brew, that first cup, that's what sustains you, what gets you going. Some might say it's, what is your why?
My why is because, so I lost my sister years ago, probably, I think 15 years ago. And it was rough for me because I loved her dearly. And what I realized is that, we had a bit of a strained relationship before she passed, but we had a really good communication about a year before she did. And for me, she did so much and gave so much to me. And she was such a gentle soul that I've always wanted to give back to the world in a way. And I didn't know how. I never felt like it was genuine and authentic the way I was giving back in the past. But now what I'm doing, and because they pitch or paint this story that you have to be number one, you have to be in lights, you have to be on the billboards. Actually, what I realized is that me being behind the scenes to help others grow their businesses, I'm making more money than I'm actually been able for, frankly. So let's be honest about that. And number two is that maybe that's my gift and what I'm supposed to be doing. It's not supposed to be about me. That hit me really hard, but I've realized that within the last.
I just got chills.
Yeah. And it's like I look at the way that you give back and what you do, especially for the aged community. A lot of people aren't committed like that. And that's so beautiful.
So then anything that is causing you frustration, like a thorn in your side or challenges that you're trying to work through?
My biggest challenge is, even though I'm doing my social media and I'm enjoying doing my social media, one of my biggest challenges focusing on and leaning more into that, growing my following on social media, because for me, everything I've built has not been marketing. It's been my relationship and the relationship capital that I could cash in because I've invested in it properly. So for me, it is getting outside of my shell and being more front facing on social media that I'm working on diligently right now. I've got a great team I'm working on.
Well, hopefully this podcast is going to help you, because on that thumbnail is going to put your Instagram. And so we look forward to helping you gain even more followers. And I guess the next step is the fresh beans, the bud. What are you looking forward to? What's like that next thing that do you have a launch that's coming up soon? Or, I mean,
I'm putting this into the universe.
Okay.
That I want, but main stage, and it's going to happen. I'm going to make this happen. Mark my words. A TED Talk on buying favor, because that's where I can have the most impact and reach the audience that I desire to reach and add the most value.
I'm hopeful that the Realty Network were able to elevate you and bring you on as well, because you know what? It's about leveraging your relationships. This is why we're friends, and why you should be reaching out to your friends no matter what new endeavor you're doing. Because we just happened to reach out 2 or 3 weeks ago. We hadn't talked for a while, but
what I like about you is we can go 6 months, even a year, and not talk, and then we just kind of pick up and we keep rolling. And that's what most people don't realize, is that relationship drift that happens. It's because you're not a priority for me and I'm not a priority for you, and that's okay. But the minute you reach out, typically somebody goes on the other end, oh my God, I was thinking about you. I'm so glad. It was 2 weeks ago. I was in a conversation. I'm so glad you reached out. We can always reconnect with the people we have relationships with in the past, and so much could come out of it, because I know great things will come out of this for both of us, just from our reconnection.
Absolutely. So I always like to end the podcast with the same question. If you could give your young agent or entrepreneur self a piece of advice, not someone young today, but you yourself, a piece of advice, well, what would it be?
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for this. All right. So the hardest hitting one is, the stuff doesn't matter. And you listen to all of the billionaires out there say, live below your means. Guys, live below your means. Over my shoes, not once, but twice, and then had to stumble, roll forward, hit a wall, pick myself up, and fix things, pivot, and go forward. So if I were to advise my younger self, Jarrod, the stuff, the accoutrement doesn't matter. Stick to the basics, invest your freaking money the right way, and you can grow and expand exponentially, versus a lot of young people who get stuck in the stuff, the material world.
Instead of things, the relationship is what you should be investing in.
100%. And then the second one would be read more. I read voraciously now, at least 2 or 3 books a week. Now, I'm dyslexic and I read a little bit differently than most people. I read with a book in hand. I listen to the audible in my ear, and I have a pen or marker, highlighter, and mark it down. I can get through a book in 2.5 to 3.5 speed while listening to it. And that's what allows me to get through the books. But I pay attention. I don't fall asleep. I don't drift. I retain more information, and I enjoy doing it. And funnily enough, I didn't even know it. I just picked this up. A lot of big education organizations and institutions are starting to teach kids to read multimodal reading.
Interesting.
Eye, touch, and auditory.
That's amazing.
It's changed everything for me.
It's so interesting, because yet again, I'm glad I have this toast of entrepreneurial quotes, because FedEx founder Fred Smith, on how to develop vision, he says the common trait of people who supposedly have vision is that they spend a lot of time reading and gathering information, and then synthesize it into until they come up with an idea. Again, the common trait of people who supposedly have vision is that they spend a lot of time reading and gathering information, and then they synthesize it until they come up with an idea.
100%. Because it's all the same stuff. We're just regurgitating it a different way.
Absolutely.
But it's great to have it for yourself because you can synthesize it and turn it into your method, your way.
That's great. So, I'm so glad that you were able to come on Agent Brew today, Jarrod. This has been fantastic. Do you have any quotes that you...
Winston Churchill, if you're going through hell, keep going.
Love it. Oh my gosh. I'm going to end with this simple quote from Charlie Munger. And that is, all intelligent people should think primarily in terms of opportunity cost. When deciding whether to do something, compare it with the best opportunity you have. So I'm Eric Zollinger. Thank you, Jarrod Guy Randolph, serial entrepreneur and creator of the Buying Favor operating system. Thank you for coming on and being season 2, episode 1 guest, and only our second in-person guest. Hopefully, if there's anybody out there, it's only the second time we're doing this, and it's a new webcam. So hopefully we've worked through all of our technology issues. But I'm your host, Eric Zollinger of RLTYco, reminding you it's a great day for real estate, and we look forward to seeing you on the next Agent Brew episode. The Agent Brew podcast is brought to you by RLTYco. RLTYco is your partner in real estate, bringing you game-changing benefits and services to empower your business. Visit realtyco.com for more information.